Right, so I hear rumors and I've been reading articles about the art of fighting coming back. How? Firstly, secondly, wow, and thirdly, interesting. Now, let's break down some things that are interesting to see. Now, as you can see, Fatal Fury City of the Wolves is coming out this year. Hopefully we have a date, but I have some skepticism that it might not give us the release date until maybe later on in the year, like let's say around May time. But I think that when you see Art of Fighting making in progress, I'm interested to see where the game goes. The last time we had the Art of Fighting game was back in 1996. Now we're in 2024. I think it was like now 28 years ago now, which is kind of crazy. Now, I just think that if they're going to make a story out of this, what is it going to be about? Hopefully it's like straight to the point. Secondly, I think what game modes are they going to put into this game? Obviously they're going to have arcades, they're going to have versus, which is fine, but what variety are they going to give to the gamers that really want to be interested in playing this game? Thirdly, I also think that what characters are going to be in this game. So obviously you got your characters such as Ryo, Robert, Yuri. Is Takuma going to be in this? Because ever since Takuma has been in the fighting game, he hasn't been in like properly playable since King of Fighters 13, and now in King of Fighters 14 he's not there, King of Fighters 15 he's not there. Now I just think the next King of Fighters, or like let's say Art of Fighting, he's not going to be there because someone else is going to take over Mr. Karate, and I know it's Ryo because Ryo plays as Mr. Karate 2, which is fine in itself. But you know what though, what's interesting is that now that we've done the Mr. Karate 2, will Marco Rodriguez, aka Kushnu Butt, be Mr. Karate 3? Because I just think he's that guy who can take over the whole entire Kyokugan like dojo and set his own paths into it. But then I don't know who's going to really be in charge in this. Now secondly, I also think that, well not secondly, I just think that we're going to have new characters on the line, and I think that some characters need to be put onto the next Art of Fighting, whether they're new or not. Give people some variety in like the older nostalgia characters and the new characters that can fit in with the characters that are rivals, personally. Because I think that when you see the Art of Fighting become a thing, I also think that, let's not forget, it has influences, like clear influences. Like you look at characters such as Ryo, a blatant mixture of like Ken and Ryu. Robert, who looks like Dan but is like a well trimmed, well suited Dan, just rich and has a really cool fighting style. Also Yuri is literally like screaming Sakura wannabe. And I just think that Yuri is trying so hard to copy different moves. That's why I've never really been a fan of Yuri, because all these like fighting moves just look all the same when you see it in Street Fighter all the time. And the fact that SNK are trying to take it just shows the rivalry between Capcom and SNK. Like they tried to mimic Dan Hibiki and make him look like a Robert and Ryo ripoff as well, which is funny. So at this point, maybe we might see new characters down the line. Also, I want to say the last bit is the Bariki 1 characters. Bariki 1 was basically like a little, I would say a saga or a spin-off of Art of Fighting, just with Ryo Sakazaki being in this game. You also got Gaitendo being in this game. Maybe we might have some characters that were more playable in the Bariki 1 series to be put in the Art of Fighting. That in itself I think would be really, really cool. But at the same time, I really do hope that they give us something that makes us feel more like an SAK feel. And I mean that by basically trying to do something that's outside of like Tekken, outside of Street Fighter, outside of like Mortal Kombat maybe. But they might stick to their guns and play it safe, but which, you know, it'll be fine, but it won't be as more memorable as you think it would be. So yeah, I also am interested to see where the game is going, but what my biggest concern is sales. Because the sales, I think that when you try and make a fighting game more memorable, you might need to add something that makes the fighting game more of a classic, more of a, you know, replay value, to the point where it gets difficult. I understand that it's very difficult because the art style for the character designs they do for King of Fighters or like Fatal Fury and stuff is pretty fantastic. I actually loved the idea of how they put character designs into the mix, and they're way more interesting than most of the character designs for like the Capcom series, you know. I just think it's really, really cool that they see something like this and make it more like not all of the same. And you know what, my biggest biggest gripe with characters in like the Capcom world is that not all of them are versatile enough. Some of them may stick to their guns, but they still have ways of trying to make it less of the same. Like, was I happy when Ken got transformed into like this weird Street Fighter 5 character design? No, he looked very off to me. And when he went back into his like Paul Phoenix kind of vibe in Street Fighter 6, it was cool, but I still don't feel like Ken is Ken without that classic like Shoto kit, you know? And that's also good. Not every character has to be Shoto character. They're all just their own character as well. And you know, you may get that in Art of Fighting with like the likes of Ryo and Marco Rodriguez and Takuma and even Yuri. But me personally, I think that, you know, they might have a mix up as well with those characters, with Fatal Fury and the Art of Fighting, as they both collided together anyway. But you know what? I'm interested to see how it happens, you know? So yeah, I'm kind of happy for the Art of Fighting to come back, and I'm excited to see where it goes next. So yeah, let me know what you think about the Art of Fighting. Should it be happening anytime soon? And I think it's going to happen next year, like 2025. That's what I think it will predict. So yeah, until next time, take care.